What it is, YouTube? It's your boy BC coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. I wanted to do a full mix breakdown showing you guys how to mix those dope, warm, vintage, analog rap type of vocals. So this is gonna be a full mix breakdown with the stems and the vocals and everything like that. You feel me? So let's get to it right now. Let's not waste no time. Let's get to listening to the track right now.
Just a waste of time. I don't want it this way. Nah, I don't want it this way. I don't want it this way. Nah, I don't want it this way. This way.
The grill's on and the beef's deaded. At the gates of hell standing with the beast three-headed. Look me in the eyes, you can see we legend. Middle of the map, out the crease we step and see. I don't sit around except in the cinema. Sending up a shot in the plot, I'm a sinner of times that we fought and not getting back. When we're gone by a path, they remember us. Watch, I can't dwell on what's behind and ahead of us. Take a look around, hit the floor when I set it off. The snakes tip the scales that I'm shedding off. Pressure's on and I need to turn the kettle off. I plead the fifth on the pettiness. I never said I never slipped, might have threw a fit at a friend on the fence. What I meant, what I said, but I'm left with the emptiness.
There is a vibe when I have my peace of mind. You can't keep the drama, cause it's really just a waste of time. I don't want it this way. Nah, I don't want it this way. I don't want it this way. Nah, I don't want it this way.
You can keep the drama, miss me with the mischief. Little peace of mind's the only thing that's on my wish list. Reason for the grind, I'm only stopping once I'm lifted and it's blissful. Really, not a worry, on the mental. I'm fed up with the headaches. If you bring some shit here, call a medic. I don't stand for it, bet I get it dead and just meddle and see. Must be getting gassed up if you coming for E. How I be getting wrapped up when I'm coming to peace. Yeah, I be quick to wrap up, I just throw up the V. And when niggas act up, I'm nowhere to be found. I calm down, just chill and roll up some tree. So if you about the drama, keep it over there, I'm about the commas. I don't want no problems, yeah, don't want your problems, yeah.
There is the vibe when I have my peace of mind.
All right, so you guys got an understanding of the song, and let me just play like the original, back and forth A/B reference track compared to the final mix.
You can't keep the drama, cause it's really just a waste of time. I don't want it this way. Nah, I don't want it this way. I don't want it this way. Nah, I don't want it this way. This way.
The grill's on and the beef's deaded. At the gates of hell standing with the beast three-headed. Look me in the eyes, you can see we legend. Middle of the map, out the crease we step and see. I don't sit around except in the cinema. Sending up a shot in the plot, I'm a sinner of times that we fought and not getting back. When we're gone by a path, they remember us. Watch, I can't dwell on what's behind and ahead of us. Take a look around, hit the floor when I set it off. The snakes tip the scales that I'm shedding off.
All right, so let's get into it right now. So you guys hear what it sounds like before and after, the whole song, all that good jazz. So most importantly, the mindset with this mix right here is understanding that we have like a live drum loop. So, let me just show you guys how I went about, building the song. I actually started off with the beat specifically because I just love the way this drum break sounded. It sounds like a live drum. So you feel me? That's the very first thing that I started off with, type shit like that. And let's solo it and go. So really dope. So very first thing is I used the heavy on the Chef's Omni channel, and I know that this provides a little bit of clipping. So in general, I wanted to emphasize the mid range of like the whole drum kit because I don't have access to like even though I have the stems, I don't have the access to actual kick and the snare and everything like that. And I felt like it just needed more excitement in general. So the very first thing I did is I used the heavy mode, which brings in some distortion, some spicy honey habanero seasoning distortion, and that distortion is adding some spice on that whole kit to make it hit harder, and then a little bit of boosting EQ, just a crack on the top to make the drums feel a little bit more airy. I also heard like a little resonant frequency in the mid, and I cut it out. Just a little bit of that clipping distortion kind of makes you just, feel like the mid range is just a little bit more harmonically dense. So that's what I went with. After that, I used the transient designer on the drum break to make the drums hit harder. Like I said, I don't have the individual drum stems, but I do have the loop. So boom, I increased the attack on it. And that's one thing about old throwback like vintage songs that they don't have, like the transients are so soft because they used to use like the tape and everything like that, and the harder you hit some tape is gonna smooth out the transients. So to make this more like a modern type of rap song, hard hitting transients, bro, I use the neutron and I boost the transients. And yeah, I just use the loose. You get three types of transient designing, and the loose is nice. It feels more natural. I feel like it helps the snare more than anything specifically. All right, and the last thing we had is the CLA 76, and I put it on all buttons in mode, and this just kind of gives more of the room tone. You feel me? Like the transistors in this, the way it blows up the room tone, it makes it actually feels more the drum kit a little bit more longer. You hear more room resonance. All right, the next thing that we have is the bass. You feel me? I usually never even make my mixes like this, but it was just the way that I was hearing to do the mixes, to get the drum kit to sound right and then build the whole mix around that shit. So next thing I use is a pull tech, and this is a very important. The pull techs, they have a very round shape of the low end, and that's kind of associated with the throwback music and everything like that. So you know what I mean? Let's look at what the pull tech did. So you hear that pull tech? I just boosted a little bit of booty. We gave it a little bit of a plastic surgery to the low end. We made the booty pop a little bit more type shit. All right, and then after that, I use the R bass, bro. The R bass is generate upper harmonics. So boom, I go on my fab filter. I let the bass play, and it's gonna tell me where the the fundamental frequency of the bass is at. So yeah, that's what I did. I started out like at 100. I mean, even the Fab filter, you'll see the lower octave and everything. But I started at 100 and I just kept pulling back lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And you know, pretty much boom, my crossover, everything from up here is gonna generate upper harmonics and stuff like that. And I used a little bit of this Moog to drive it as well. You feel me? So let's look at it. And I use the Moog XFL filter. I learned that from Mixed by Ali, you know, to use this plugin. That's good for like that synthy type of P bass. And I have the output on mono too. So let's look at the. Like in the reference track, you can't even really hear this sound. This sounds like an ambient sound, that second sound in the verse. So, I mean, that was very important for me to get the stereo image. All right, so most importantly, Lo, let me bring it up. Like after this point, I had my bass sounding good. I went and did the keys after because I know the keys are creating a substantial amount of low end. So I hit a low shelf to you know take down the low end of the keys specifically, so they still have bass, they still have warmth, they filling out the low mid of the song, and I boosted a little bit more higher mid range. So I kind of shifted it up higher, you know. So the fact that I kind of cut out the low end on the keys, now you hear the pads a little bit better. All right. So yeah, this is just another move to help it cut out. So for the most part, that's most of the beat. You know, I would say, you know, that's pretty much most of the shit I did on the beat, to be honest, bro. You feel me? Let me see something real quick. You feel me? And then of course I had the little plug. I put a ozone imager on it to make it wider, a little bit of the Spectre type shit. But yeah, like cause this was an ambient sound, I made it wider. And this one right here, it had some like little plucky stuff, so I put a limiter to like make it not bounce around too much.
Like when I have my peace of mind, you can't keep the drama, cause it's really just a waste of time. I don't want it this way, nah. I don't want it this way, I don't want it this way, nah. I don't want it this way, yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit of transient control, all right, using a limiter. All right, so that was the fucking beat. And then on the beat, we did have a little EQ, a little fresh air to make it brighter, and an ozone maximizer. I used the upwards compressor like as a little bit of tool to recover the melodies just in case towards the end when I'm limiting the whole mix. All right, so boom, let's keep it moving. We're not gonna be sitting here all fucking day long. With the actual vocals, I just threw on a Pultec to give it more harmonic density because the vocal sounds skimpy. And then I used a little bit of the Toupee on the parallel blend to get that mid-range tape bump, and I did that on almost like all the vocals. So let's look at the vocal chain. That was like the pre-processing before they hit the vocal chain. Now let's look at the actual vocal chain itself.
Standing with the beast three-headed, look me in the eyes. OZONE and the beef steaded at the gates of hell, standing with the beast three-headed. Look me in the eyes, you can see we legend. Middle of the map, out the crease we step and see. I don't sit around accepting the cinema.
All right, very first thing I did is I used the Abbey Road RS124. That's coming down to like the tempo, which you see is 92 BPM, and also listening to the flow of the rapper. I knew I wanted some slow compressors because of the singing hook and the rapping vocal. He's kind of rapping with a somewhat controlled swag, you know, type of to him. So I wanted to bring that creamy thumpingness of the Abbey Road RS124.
OZONE and the beef steaded at the gates of hell, standing with the beast three-headed. Look me in the eyes, you can see we legend. Middle of the map, out the crease we step and see. I don't sit around accepting the cinema, sending up a shot in the plot. I'm a sinner of times that we fought.
So it's not only just the fact that you know it's making it louder, but the fact that it's also making it brighter because it has a tube inside of it. Okay, so that's a meticulous reason why I picked that compressor. Then we have this, you know, this first level of EQ. We just did a little bit of a broadband push in that upper mid range to help the vocals cut through, and we cleaned up our low mid a little bit. Like you go into your closet, and your closet got a bunch of socks and a bunch of fucking drawers in it, and now you got to get it clean and organized. So now you can find things better. I want the listener to find the vocal character a little bit better, so I got to get it organized with these EQ moves.
OZONE and the beef steaded at the gates of hell, standing with the beast three-headed. Look me in the eyes, you can see we legend. Middle of the map, out the crease we step and see. I don't sit around accepting the cinema, sending up a shot in the plot. I'm a sinner of times that we fought and not getting back when we're gone by a path they remember us. Watch, I can't dwell on what's behind and ahead of us. Take a look around, hit the floor when I set it off. The snakes tip the scales that I'm shedding off. Pressure's on and I need to turn the kettle off. I plead the fifth on the pettiness. I never said.
All right, after that I used the damn, that vocal's kind of loud. I used the Kramer tape to give some harmonic density, and that's a very important thing about, you know, those vintage rap vocals. That tape as well, it kind of serves as a de-esser. You feel me? I did go in there and manually de-ess all of the vocals, you know, like how I typically do. That's why you see all these little cuts and shit like that. You know, I literally go in there, I manually de-ess it, and this is kind of like the frosting on the cake. You feel me? It's like that outer layer of smoothness that it's bringing to the voice, the Kramer tape. We know what that plugin does, bro. Come on. And I use the Weiss de-esser. The best de-esser is the digital mastering de-esser. We know what that does. All right, let's keep it moving. And then after that, I use the C6. I use the multiband C6 to also de-ess the vocal even more, but just very lightly. You know, I'm getting the vocals to be smooth, and everybody's taking their turn. Boom. It's like a piñata at a party. Everybody's getting a hit. You feel me? The Kramer tape is getting the de-ess. The C6 is getting the de-ess. You feel me? That's how I get the vocals to sound like not harsh and natural. You feel me?
OZONE and the beef steaded at the gates of hell, standing with the beast three-headed. Look me in the eyes, you can see we legend. Middle of the can't dwell on what's behind and ahead of us. Take a look around, hit the floor when I set it off. The snakes tip the scales that I'm shedding off. Pressure's on and I need to turn the kettle off. I plead the fifth on the pettiness. I never.
All right, the RVox is bringing in some presence, and we know what we know what an RVox does, bro. All right, boom. I used that Spectre to fill out the low mid because the low mid was kind of feeling a little bit brittle.
Look around, hit the floor when I set it off. The snakes tip the scales that I'm shedding off. Pressure's on and I need to turn the kettle off. I plead the fifth on the pettiness. I never said I never slipped, might have threw a fit.
So just imagine that without that move, it's kind of like a flat bike tire. So I use that you know, saturation move on the Spectre to put some air back into the vocal, put some air back into the chest, hit it with that that defibrillator. You feel me? Fill up the chest with energy. You feel me? Then the fresh air is bringing in brightness. The de-esser, NLS bus for the smoothness, and you know, I'm kind of just like not trying to take all day to do this breakdown. You feel me? Because we know what this shit does, bro. Come on, whoa. The most important thing too is the high clean lead vocal too. You know, like up in the air. You know, that fresh air sometimes does that because it's a high shelf boost. You feel me? So you know, that's why I use the C6 again.
Look around, hit the floor when I set it off. The snakes tip the scales that I'm shedding off. Pressure's on and I need to turn the kettle off. I plead the fifth on the pettiness. I never said I never slipped, might have threw a fit. Had a friend on the fence, what I meant, what I said, but I'm left with the emptiness.
There is a vibe when I have my peace of mind. You can't keep the time, cause it's really.
So yeah, and then the C-Suite Vox as well. I love this plugin because you know, it's just making the vocals removing some of that weird room tone and stuff like that. I like putting this at the end of my chain, and it's like a great vocal finisher when it comes to the, because when you do compression and all that stuff like that and the tape saturation, it's gonna bring some form of artifacts and wow and flutter, and it's gonna bring out the room tone even more. You feel me? So yeah, that's why I use the C Suite Vox. All right, let's see what that's doing though.
I don't want it this way, this way.
Yeah. Said you can keep the drama, miss me with the mischief. Little peace of mind's the only thing that's on my wish list. Reason for the grind, I'm only stopping once I'm lifted and it's blissful. Really, not a worry, on the mental. Fed up with the headaches. If you bring some shit here, call a medic. I don't stand for it, bet I get it dead, just metal and C. Must be getting gassed up if you coming for E. How I be getting wrapped up when I'm coming to peace. Yeah, I be quick to wrap up, I just.
And the vocals kind of sounded a little bit skimpy when they came in, so I did the toupe on his vocal too. And this is like just bringing weight to the vocal, the mid-range bump of tape. All right, so great. Let's look at the fucking hook, bro. Let's look at the hook, bro. All right, let's see where our hook is hooking. Is the hook is hooking? All right, boom. Background vocals though, bro. I damn well know I got it right here.
Yeah, nah, 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 nah.
So those are like my super faint, intro vocals. So I only did those ad libs right there for the beginning, kind of builds that momentum, and they come towards later along in the song, right? So like the first hook comes through, the verse comes through, the second hook comes through, then you start to hear that same style of ad lib towards the song. It's like I give the listener a piece of candy and I make their ass fucking wait all the way to the end of the party to give them more candy, but that first candy is what that gets them through the door. You know what I mean? Type of situation like that. All right, let's keep moving. The background vocals were pretty simple, bro. Like, I just did a little bit of filtering, and then I slapped on a little bit of micro pitch shift. You feel micro pitch shift. And yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. Like the most fucking simplest background vocals, bro, with literally ozone stabilizer, which is kind of like soothe, just being on the back end. Like the most simplest EQ move, bro. I just made them fit and sound good. The guy knows how to sing.
Divine when I have my peace of mind. You can't keep the drama, cause it's really just a waste of time. I don't want it this way, nah. I don't want it this way, I don't want it this way, nah. I don't want it this way.
So yeah, I just like balanced it, did a basic EQ move, and shit just glued itself, bro. You feel me? If the shit already got like crazy glue on it, like I'm not gonna put Elmer's glue on it. You feel me? It's already cohesive. And then the little lad chant, bro. You feel me? Just like mostly using like a doubler, using like an imager to get it wide on it. Like nothing crazy. It's only just like a small part of the song towards the second half of the hook. So I did use this live reverb though. You feel me? To give it like a different sound. You feel me? So I showed them what a fake ass nigga is. Now I'm showing them what a real ass nigga is with the convolution reverb. So it just sounds, hey, sounds more natural. And through that Avid lo-fi on the back end. Let's see real quick.
Just a waste of time. I don't want it this way. I don't want it this way. I don't want it this way. Nah. I don't want it this way.
The grill's on and the beef's dead.
So yeah, you hear what that's doing. Let me see his ad libs, the basic ass ad lib chain. Using the L1 to control the transients on the ad libs. I want to flatten them out like some Ego My Lego waffles type shit. And then of course I lo-fied them up with the Avid lo-fi. I used the RVox for a little presence. Just nothing fucking crazy, bro. That Kramer tape is still being cohesive. You feel me? I'm using the Kramer tape sparingly, and I think that's where a lot of people fuck up when it comes to like trying to make a song sound vintage. They like use tape every single where, but I use tape like in different varying parts. Like I might use a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit parsley here, a little bit green onion there, a little bit bell pepper here, a little bit of red onion right here. You type shit like that, So purple onion or whatever the fuck color it is. And this is my way of gluing the mix. I'm just throwing a dash of flavoring all throughout the dishes. That's what's making it cohesive. I use the MJUC as my parallel compressor for all my lead vocals, which are routed in here. And yeah, this is a very warm compressor, and I threw the fresh air, a dollop, just a honey teaspoon of fresh air, just to give it a little bit of sweetness.
With the headaches, if you bring
Grills on and the beef steady. At the gates of hell standing with the beast three-headed. Look me in the eyes, you can see we legend. Middle of the map, out the crease we step and see. I don't sit around accepting the cinema. Sending up a shot in the plot, I'm a sinner of times that we fought and not getting back when we're gone by a path that we're.
So I like the parallel compression here. I'm using the star level emulation. There's these other two, but I'm using this one specifically because it has a warm quality to it. It's another Verimu compressor. So Verimu was the parallel compressor, and Verimu was the first compressor that we had right here. And let's look at our effects real quick before we go to the master fader. We had the Capital Chambers reverb. I like this. This is a really nice analog type of reverb, and it feels real as fuck. It feels real as fuck, and it matched the idea of this song. So I don't think everything is getting a haul. Okay, the hook has the big reverb and the verses have a smaller reverb. So that's the kind of shit I do. I showed you what an open door is and a closed door is with the sizes of the reverbs and shit. And then the other reverb right here, which is the plate, is the Abbey Roads plate with a little bit of distortion going into it. You feel me? And then roll off the top because it needs a haircut. The afro is too much. All right. So half note delay, we didn't use that. The quarter note delay was a Valhalla on the basic fucking default preset, bruh. Basic slap.
Grills on and the beef steady. At the gates of hell standing with the beast three-headed. Look me in the eyes, you can see we legend. Middle of the map, out the crease we step and see. I don't sit around accepting the cinema. Sending up a shot in the plot, I'm a sinner of times that we fought and not getting back when we're gone by a path that remember us. Watch, I can't dwell on what's behind and ahead of us. Take a look around, hit the floor when I set it off. The snakes tip the scales that I'm shedding off. Pressure.
So then I did like a nice little reverb throw here, then another one right here.
Sad, but I'm left with the emptiness.
Just something to apply a little bit of highlighter onto the song. Then I had the eighth note delay, and the eighth note delay is driving most of like the background vocals and the ad libs and all that shit like that. So, it's got different things going to it. You feel me? And the eighth note is just a basic ass, another vintage Valhalla. Then we have the most important part too is the micro shift. I like this because you go to like the pitch and you go to doublers and you get all Magic Air Tupac preset. You get all this nice shit. And this is just like a doubler that's adding some dimension to the vocal. And then all of these effects together, they go over here and get hit with a 100 hertz shelf because they start to, have a little bit of buildup. Like a sink that has too much oil in it, in this shit, it has a lot of buildup. So we went over the beat. We went over we went over everything so far. And then now the master preset, all right? So yeah, boom, just a fucking Pultec Pre-Child 670. We know what it does. Tubes have been a very common occurrence here for this mix, and that's why I picked the Toupe too, because I'm getting tube saturation as I'm getting my tape saturation too. So I'm gluing everything through the same common flavor, the same common lime pepper seasoning, bro. And then Ozone 11 in this bitch, you feel me? I'm using a little bit of this. This is a Pultec emulation and just barely cracking open the top of the Pepsi can, cracking open the top of the little bottle a little bit. I know you hear that bottle, you feel me? And then losing a little imagery.
Sad, but I'm left with the emptiness.
There is the vibe when I have my peace of mind. You can't keep the drama, cause it's really just a waste of time. I don't want it this way, I don't want it this way. I don't want it this way, nah. I don't want it this way,
Yeah. You can keep the drama, miss me with the mischief. Little piece of mind's the only thing that's on my wish list. Reason for the grind, I'm only stopping once I'm lifted and it's blissful. Really, not a worry, on the mental.
I tried to use the vintage limiter, which is like another Fairchild, but I didn't like how it sounded. So yeah, God Particle, bringing in hella booty, hella harmonic density, hella, stomach, thighs, all that shit like that to the mix.
Plot, I'm a sinner of times that we fought and not getting back when we're gone by a path that remember us. Watch, I can't dwell on what's behind and ahead of us. Take a look around, hit the floor when I set it off. The snakes tip the scales that I'm shedding off. Pressure's on and I need to turn the kettle off. I plead the fifth on the pettiness. I never said I never slipped, might have threw a fit at a friend on the fence. What I meant, what I said, but I'm left with the emptiness.
Is the vibe when I have my peace of mind. You can't keep the drama, cause it's really just a waste of time. I don't want it this way, nah. I don't want it this way, I don't want it this way, nah. I don't want it this way,
Yeah. You can keep the drama, miss me with the mischief. Little peace of mind's the only thing that's on my wish list.
Then we wrapped it up with the Fab Filter limiter on transparent. Don't want any digital artifacts, digital seasoning in this analog dish that we cooked up. All right, so this is pretty much the end of the video, bro. It's so much to go over, even in 30 minutes. Jesus, you feel me? I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Down below, suggest more video ideas that y'all want to see and everything. And I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. I appreciate y'all now. Peace.